Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. What? Hi, Sephora. Did anyone watch the? No, not yet. Yes, there is a witch trial documentary, isn't there, on the television at the moment? Haven't seen it yet. Let us know if it's any good. Good evening, Sephora. Good morning, Karen. Welcome to Wednesday. It is hot. And just because we always do, because I'm British, I'm going to complain about the weather. What happened to spring? Don't think we had a spring. Now it is full on scorchy, melty heat wave. I'm just saying. Shouldn't complain really. We're going to be in a field for the next 4 or 5 days. So yeah, I shouldn't really. Anyway, good morning, Candy. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Kit. Sephora, apparently. Right. Yes, there is a witchcraft trial documentary. So do have a look. Let us know if it's any good. It is Wednesday. This will be the last Wednesday I do a chat for the foreseeable future. I'm moving back to Fridays. So starting from next Friday, so the first Friday in July. Is that the first Friday in July? Yeah. I don't know what the date was. The date. Yeah, we're still all right. It's warm. My brain's melted. I will be doing Friday mornings instead of Wednesdays. I'm able to do that now. And I did a little poll on the Kitchen Witch Convent Facebook group, and pretty much all of you encouraged me to move back to Friday. So there you go. I shall be next week. It'll be Friday. Sephora's full on soggy cold winter here. That's how it goes, isn't it? Good morning, Emma. It is far too hot. Good morning, Lolly. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Nita. It is nice to have some sunshine. It is nice that the summer is actually here. The garden's struggling. The plants are, what's happening? Which is pretty much where I'm at, to be honest. I am not a hot weather person. I'm not a sunbathed person, bathed tattoos. But I don't want any rain for the next week. As soon as I finish this chat today, the car's being packed off and I'm off up to Nuneaton for Pagan Tribal Gathering. 3.5 hour journey in the car, traffic willing, with my 80s radio station on. That'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah, Pagan Tribal Gathering, one of our favourites, sold out this year, so that's absolutely brilliant. What else have we got coming up? There's an online ritual, Kitchen Witch online ritual in July. The girls and I are doing another workshop. We're doing a moon magic workshop at Raw Eden, but I believe that's sold out. We're doing a triple goddess one in August, which still has tickets. And all the stuff's all coming up there. Look at that. It's all so efficient. To keep an eye on what we're up to, just have a look at the websites, my website or the Kitchen Witch website, on the events page. Right, so let's go through these. Good morning, Maria. Steve says, everyone seems a lot happier and positive with a bit of sun and blue sky. Yes, it does cheer people up, doesn't it? Good morning, Angela. Hot and humid France. Heat, I love the humidity, not so much. Yeah, not good. But, you know, could be chucking down with rain, I guess. We shouldn't complain, really, should we? Good morning, Trudy. Emma can't cope with the heat. However, we need it nice next week. We're away for the week. Oh, have a lovely holiday. Yeah, let's keep the no rain policy for the next couple of weeks. Candy, it's been in the 90s here in the US, pretty much everywhere. Wow. Except in Montana. Last week it snowed. The weather's bizarre, isn't it? It is very bizarre. Sephora, is it in Nuneaton because convenient, or is there a spiritual significance? Just because it's convenient. There's a very nice big old campsite there. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the events and the festivals and things seem to be up in the Midlands for some reason. That's what it feels like anyway. But we have our first Kitchen Witch trader stall there, out in a field with a gazebo. So if anyone wants a laugh, you can watch the three of us trying to put up gazebos this afternoon. That should be fun. Anyway, colour magic. I haven't talked about colour magic. I had a look, actually. I haven't talked about colour magic for 3 years. There is an old chat on there about colour magic. But that's what I thought we'd chat about today. So good evening, Sue. Good morning, Tony. So colour. Do you work with colour in your magical practice? Do you use colour in your spells? Do you use colour to improve your mood with what you wear or your surroundings? How does colour figure into your magical life, or your life in general, really? And are there any specific colours that you tend to work with or not work with, as the case may be? There you go. So for ancestors from that way. No, the Midlands seems to be the place for festivals. Good morning, Jalala. Multitasking. Good morning, Karen. So yeah, colour. I do like colour. I work with colour magic a lot. I like to bring colour into my candle magic. So I like to tie my colours of my candles into the magic. Quite often bring crystals into it because of their colour rather than the type of crystal. Altar cloths work quite well as well, particularly for seasons. I like to wear colour. I did that thing. I hit 50 and I thought, what am I supposed to wear? What am I supposed to look like? I don't, let's avoid the beige because, OAP. Black that I used to wear started to make me feel quite washed out. Your skin changes. I've had to change my whole makeup routine and everything. Your skin changes. So I changed my wardrobe and I do like a bit of colour. So that tends to be what I wear now. It does make you feel better. It does make you feel more brighter and cheerful. Or me, anyway. Personal choice. Hello. There's no tea today.
I have to make an appearance.
There's no tea today. Thank you.
The hand has people asking about
it. Oh, welcome to my weird life. I'm not having tea today because I've got a 3.5-hour car journey. Right, let's get some of these up. Good morning, Melody. Right, let's get some of these up. So, Candy, I use in almost everything. Green and blue are my favourite colours to work with for particular purposes. Just asking. Maria, like black mostly. Purple, silver, and red I like. Do you work with it in magic, though? And how or why is my question. Emma, I'm the weird one who uses green for healing instead of pale blue. This is because my medicine cabinet has a green cross on it. Yeah. First aid. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. There are lists of colour correspondences. The heat is melting my speech as well as my brain, I think. Just because I wrote them in a book or someone else wrote them in a book or someone put them on the internet doesn't mean they have to work for you. Working with colour magic has to be a colour that you associate with it, because if you don't associate that colour with it, then it's all going to be all squiffy. The intent's going to be all off. So that's absolutely brilliant that you choose the colour that works for you. Karen, like colour for everything, not too keen on pink. Uh-oh. For some reason, I don't resonate with pink. It's one of the colours I do wear. I tend to use pink in spell work for friendship and for love, sort of self-care love. Not the relationship kind, but friends and gentle kind of, self-care and that kind of thing. That's my go-to when I work a spell, would be a pink for sort of self-care and friendship. but it has to work for you. Oh, there you go. Candy uses green for healing as well. It's all good. Oh, Sephora, yes. Wish I could have worn Helen Bonham Carter's wardrobe. Yes, she wears some fab stuff. Okay, we've got a review on the witch trials here. Susan, watched the witch trials program. Some good, some not so good. Didn't learn anything new. Felt it trivialized it a little. Okay, could have done without the howling. Okay. Yes, the hand. Good morning, Karen's in Shropshire. You are internationally traveling, aren't you? Yeah, green, blue for healing, interchangeable. I think I tend to use blue for healing. Pale blue, not a dark blue, but a pale blue I like to use for healing. I don't know why. It just seems to fall into that category for me. Green I tend to use for prosperity, for abundance, for money-making spells. But it has to work for you. Absolutely has to work for you. Jane, when I first started spell work, colour correspondences were the first thing I latched onto, along with essential oils. I unpicked an old nightie and made a ritual robe for every day of the week. Oh, brilliant. Can't wear them now. I'm 3 sizes bigger. Oh, all of us. My very first candle spell, I used the wrong colour candle, but it worked. So that became my new colour for that purpose. There you go. And I think that probably highlights working with spells. You can read about spells, you can write about spells. Until you actually do them, you're not going to learn from it. You have to work with spells to experience them, to learn what works and what doesn't work, which when you're starting out, it's a very good idea to keep a record of your spells so that you know what you've done, so that you can look back and think, that worked, that bit didn't work, I can tweak that bit. And then you discover what works for you. But colours are very, very personal. And it has to resonate with you. Maria, red and black, silver, even I've used crystal wise for repelling negativity. Yes. Purple as in amethyst for healing and to help with sleep. Amethyst is a good all-rounder, does a lot of stuff. Used a purple candle on a Thursday once, but can't remember what the spell was. Okay. Now, purple candles on purple in general, I tend to associate with psychic abilities, with divination, any connections that you need to make on that sort. It's a magical color, isn't it? I think, but I think of it as a spiritual color as well. Anything to do with spirituality. Candy. For some reason, I associate the color pink with the east instead of yellow. Okay. Air. Intuition. Intellect. Headology stuff. If it works for you, then it's all good. It is all good. We do tend to, there are those traditional colour things, aren't there? There are those, north is green and east is yellow, melting. East is yellow, south is red, west is blue. But it doesn't have to be. There's nothing that says this is exactly how they have to be always and forever. Has to work for you, and it has to be colours that you associate with anything. I feel I'm going to say that quite a lot today. Good morning, Georgie. During rituals, as used colour of the Sabbath, for instance, green for Beltane and yellow, orange for summer solstice. The colours do come into the Sabbats, don't they? There are certain colours that you do associate with each Sabbath. Black and yellow's got to be probably the most recognised one for Samhain, hasn't it? Yeah, in bulk, pastel colours. I tend to go for pale pinks, pale blues. Any of the summer ones, summer into the harvest ones, yellows, oranges, reds. Yeah, it kind of gives that feel, doesn't it? You're red and green, probably, bit of gold, maybe. It's association, isn't it? And it's about bringing that extra energy. And that's what color magic does. It brings extra layers of energy to your magic. So if you use a candle that corresponds, where the color corresponds to your intent, then you add in another layer of energy to your magic. if you have an altar cloth that is of a particular color that ties in with your intent, you're adding another layer of energy. If you're working with a crystal that's the same color, you're adding another layer of energy. It is all about layering those energies into your magical working to boost it, basically. Karen, color magic features heavily in my practice. I find the colors usually match the correspondences: candles, crystals, jewelry, flowers. Helps to set the scene. That's exactly what it does. Use a lot of reds for action and creativity, greens for working with earth, and black for protection and repelling negativity, purple for healing. List is growing. Black would be my go-to for protection as well. Always, I think. But you know, Jane, watch the Witch Trials program too. Lots of footage of Saran Jones walking around in a coat and thinking out loud. Okay. Even the lovely Ronald didn't get much of an airing. It's the sort of program he'd do in a lot of detail given half the chance. Probably. Emma, I use orange for success, money, prosperity. Okay, I think that's because I used it in place of gold for money, and worked out for me. Brilliant. Orange to me is the success one. If I'm working anything to do with success, then orange is my go-to color for that. That works. That works. Angela, pink, the color of Jain monks in India, classed as a very masculine color. Interesting. We do associate pink as a kind of feminine, girly color, don't we? Pete has pink t-shirts. He likes it. It's associations again, though, isn't it? It's associations with the colours. Black, orange, green, purple for Samhain. Yep, they are the predominant colours of the seasonal aisles in all the supermarkets leading up to it. Yes, absolutely. Sephora, I look at nature and take guidance from her and her seasons. But if I can't be naffed, black and white. I think it is bringing the seasons in is always a good idea, because that brings in the colours. If you only have one colour, then work with white, because it's a blank canvas. We talked about this bit in the candle magic, didn't we? It is a blank canvas, and it can be used for all sorts of intents. Jane, crystals are great for color management because they are not just a color, they give off vibration. Absolutely. Crystals, pebbles, leaves, flowers, they all give off vibrations. They've all got energy fields. That's why we use them in magic. But if you tie them in by their color, which is generally what I tend to do, you've got a big old box of crystals, just pick the color that ties in with your correspondence. Because it's got the right energy. If you've picked it and it's the one that seems right for you, then it's going to be right for the spell. It's going to be right for the intent. I think flowers kind of go the same as well. The colours of the flowers. I work with roses quite a lot, and each different colour of rose has a different meaning. So red is good for passion and creativity. Pink rose is good for friendship. Yellow rose is good for happiness. The colors come into it, whatever it is that you're using. I can hear a fly in here. I'm surprised Eric isn't on the hunt for it. Trudy, some equinox yellow resonates. I think of bumblebees, honey, citrine, happiness. My poppet is in a yellow honeycomb tulip. Brilliant. Yes, I would say that. I would say summer solstice. Yeah. Yellows, reds, oranges. It's sun, isn't it? It's solar energy. So that makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Guten Morgen, Ghoul. Guten Morgen. Emma, yellow. I use for mental well-being too, because for me, air being one for intelligence, communication, it seemed the right color for it, and it helps me with my mental well-being. Yellow's a happy color too, isn't it? It's an uplifting color. I have got some yellow clothing. It does make you feel quite loud when you're wearing it, but it is a bright, cheerful color. It is the color of the sun, isn't it? So it is solar energy, but it is the element of air as well. It's all that headology stuff. Yeah, that's thank you, cool. Danke. My German is coming along slowly, very slowly. I can probably ask for the drink in a cafe for the minute, or name animals at a zoo. It's quite random. Georgie, if I need a black candle for magic and only have a white, I turn and burn the white candle upside down. There you go. That's today's learning. Brilliant idea. Yes, absolutely brilliant idea. Jane, colours of socks are useful too. Okay. Forgotten about the socks. Knitted a pair of murky shades of grey socks for when I want to be invisible. Okay, just focus on the socks and whiz them mentally into my total mummification. Love it. Brilliant idea. I don't have any socks on today. I've got sandals, and socks and sandals are not good. Definitely not good. But I like it. Yeah, very good idea. I think you can do that with other things you wear, can't you? Coloured scarves would work in a similar way too. You can put a coloured scarf on to draw from. I think magic is such a huge thing. And I know I've talked about household magic before. I've talked about working magic with your phones and magic with, dog poo bags and things. Everything has magic or the potential to be used in magic. And colour's no different, which extends out to your clothing. You can charge clothing with magical intent. You can bring in the color magic with your clothing. So if you were looking for something to boost your confidence or your courage, wear a scarf, or you don't have to wear a completely, bright red or orange or whatever color you associate with confidence or courage. Just a touch of something, a bracelet, a scarf, your socks, and draw on that energy. Color magic just spreads out into all the clothing, even into the colors in your house as well. Think about how a room makes you feel. Nearly every single healing room that I've been into is a pastel shade. It'll be a pale blue, pale green, or a lilac, because those colors are calming and healing. Think about how a room makes you feel when you walk into it, and that's color magic coming into play with it. Sephora, from what I remember from art classes, black is all colours where white is the absence of colour. Indeed. Drab winter here, so dragged out brightly coloured sari pants, and it's just uplifting and fun. Your beautiful, beautiful material. Candy. Yellow is a very happy colour. It is. Dining room is yellow. Perfect. And I bet it makes you feel cheerful and happy when you walk into the room. Good morning, Jackie. I use jewelry. That works too. It's an accent, isn't it? It's an add-on. That is, you can bring color magic into your outfit by bringing that in. Lipstick, if you wear lipstick, we'll bring it in. Nail varnish. Bring in the color magic with nail varnish. Lots of different ways. Colored shoelaces. Lots of just small ways of bringing in color magic to make you feel better, to bring you confidence or courage or communication skills. A blue scarf at your neck for communication skills because it's on your throat chakra. Lots and lots of brilliant ways of working with it. You had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there. Not on my watch. I don't care what anyone wears. You can wear whatever makes you comfortable, whatever makes you happy. It's not my place to judge at all, unless you're wearing Crocs, and then I will judge just a little bit. Cool. May I ask something different to today's topic? Absolutely. Spells on retrograde. Not so good because of the flip side of it. Ken, your German is absolutely beautiful. Oh, danke. It's rough. It's very rough. Retrograde is, it is the, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm thinking German words now. It is the illusion, that's the word. It is the illusion of the planet going backwards. It's not actually doing it. It is just the illusion. So I tend to I don't tend to work, um, with the retrogrades, as in I ignore them. I think if you are into planetary magic, then it is an interesting thing to look at. I think it's one of those things where there is a little bit of negative energy from it, and negative as in it does like to cause a bit of chaos. But there's chaos in the world anyway. There's chaos in any kind of magic. But I think we put quite a lot of energy into the retrograde, because as soon as it's a retrograde, everyone will pile onto social media and they'll be, oh, everything is going wrong because of retrograde. This is going wrong. We're feeding it. We're feeding that negative idea that the retrograde is a bad thing. I think it is a bit, for me, like an eclipse. It can be a bit of a reset on things. I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. So I ignore it. So I do just ignore it. So if I've got a spell to work, then I will work the spell. It's how you feel, really. It has to work for you. Interesting question, though. Trudy, color magic in food. Yes. Now, if you are working a spell and you need something that represents blood and you don't want to give your own, beetroot juice works really well. It is representative of it. It makes a fantastic looking witch bottle if you add beetroot juice to it. But it is the citrus fruits, isn't it? Lemons, oranges, grapefruits. All of those scents are uplifting. The colours of the fruit are uplifting too. So yes, all the fresh fruits and the fresh vegetables make you feel healthy just by looking at them, don't they? But you could absolutely bring food into your spell working associated by colour. That would work brilliantly. Maria, my kids had Crocs when they were small. Mine did. When they had the little tiny feet, they had them when they were small when we went to the beach, because they were useful for that, which is what they're meant for. Not wearing to dinner on a cruise. When the brochure says smart, elegant, casual for evening dining. One man wore socks and Crocs every single evening. Elegant dining, my foot. Google. Going to ignore it and do myself. Yes. If you feel it's the right time to do the spell, then follow your intuition to do the spell. Absolutely. Absolutely. Super. Yes, Sephora, chaos is purple. I always associate purple with chaos when I'm working in the realm of dragon magic. The chaos dragon is nearly always purple. It is one of the colours. Darker purple for him, but it is pretty much his colour. So I often associate chaos with purple because of the chaos dragon. That's, yeah, agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you, Google, you're very kind. Jalala went on a hike with my Crocs the other day. Was that not uncomfortable? No, I have to. No, it wasn't Pete. He would know better than to get Crocs. He did wear loud Hawaiian shirts every evening, though, because why not? Never go on a cruise with my hobbit feet. Then I hate the idea of cruises. I don't like the idea of a sea cruise. We went on a river cruise up the Rhine, and it was amazing. I have to say, absolutely amazing. Couldn't get me on the sea for any money because my stomach wouldn't take it. But the river cruise was absolutely brilliant, and we went up the Rhine, and I fell in love with Germany on that cruise. Never been before, but it was a beautiful country. But the cruise itself was amazing. Never eaten so much food. Never eaten so much food in my life. Maria, that was criminal. Crocs and socks. Jesus, creepers and socks. Yeah, it's not a good look, is it? See, we're on to Crocs now. Angela, not a Crocs fan, but my goodness, they were useful when I was working on, yes, delivery suite or in a theatre. Well, that's what they're meant for, isn't it? They are meant for nurses and doctors to wear in the theatre, you know, or little children to wear at the seaside. Sephora, when I'm slightly older, I shall wear purple hats and have purple hair. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Chalala, your work here is done. Yes, absolutely. Crocs, what do you like? I think we're onto vibrations. Vibrations was mentioned earlier, and crystals do have vibrations, but all of the natural items do, whether it is herbs or plants. But I think colors have vibration as well. They give off an energy, and it'll be characteristics, personality, energy. So if you don't get on with a particular person because of their energy, the color will be the same. I don't get on with beige or nude or whatever the color is that they call it these days, taupe or whatever it is. To me, it's a non-color. I don't get on with that at all. But everyone's going to have that connection with some colors more than others, because of the vibrations that the color gives off, and you can then filter that down into your magic. Crocs, what do you like? Jane, I associate purple with spirituality and other realms. Yep. It was always my Thursday color in preference to dark blue, a Jupiter color. Yep, I agree with that. Karen, I tried to cook food for the Sabbats based on the colors I associate with the Sabbats. Okay. Do pancakes at in bulk to represent a very pale returning sun. Oh, nice idea. Very nice idea. Yeah, and I think we do. I think Mother Nature does as well, doesn't she? Because when you look at something like the harvest, and you've got the golds and the oranges and the reds, because you've got all of the brain today, it's just not working. You've got all of the wheat and the corn and that kind of thing coming in, which is all yellows. And the fields are all yellows and browns, aren't they? So that makes sense. It makes sense to bring it all in, the colours in for food. I'm all for food anyway, obviously, but Emma, I use purple to aid my spirituality and craft. Purple has always spoken to me for spiritual work and ancestry work. Can't remember why I associated with that, but purple is my favourite colour. I think it is one of those things that a lot of people associate with spirituality. It just fits. Is it because the chakras? So you've got violet and indigo up here. Is it because of that? Don't know. I do that again. I mentioned the throat chakra earlier. That's pale blue, which is what I associate with communication. Your heart chakra, pink or green, which is quite random, but that works too. Your sacral, yellow. Your root, red. Yeah, the chakra colors, I think, come into it as well and associate with the things that we associate the chakras with. Perhaps that's what it is. That's why my purple candle spells are on Thursday. There you go. Good morning, Keith. Your body and soul give out vibrations. We do. We absolutely do. Louise, good morning. Love color magic, crystals and jewelry I use a lot. Years ago in a hippie shop, a man gave me a hug and told me not to wear black unless it's my leather jacket. I really do. Yeah, I used to wear a lot of black, particularly because I worked in an office and I always had to wear a suit. So a lot of suits are drab colors, aren't they? Particularly at work. They are blacks and dark blues and grays and that kind of thing. I don't know. I went through various wardrobes, really. When I was in Young Farmers, I had a wardrobe full of cocktail dresses and ball gowns and green wellies, obviously. My office wear was all suits, dark-coloured suits. When I found my spiritual path, I went full-on Stevie Nicks. Everything had drapey sleeves, the really big drapey sleeves. They are so annoying. They are really, really annoying. They get in everything, so I don't have those anymore. Yeah, but colour I don't think, well, you know, teenager in the 80s, that was my colour. That was the fluorescent everything. Leg warmers, fluorescent pink and green leg warmers. Brilliant. Jane, I walked into M&S recently and walked straight out when I was met with a sea of pale grey, beige and white. Clothes do go through that, don't they? They do go through trends. When Pete and I were in Bath last year, time goes, we went into M&S and it was the beginning of summer and they had some amazing coloured dresses. Like, it was a sea of rainbow. Not seen it since. I don't know what happened to all of those dresses, but they were amazing. I don't really shop in the high street stores because they all do tend to be, don't they? Grey seems to be the trendy colour, doesn't it? Everyone that's having their houses painted around here, they're all being painted grey. All of the cars that are coming out now new seem to be grey. Not our house. Sephora, definitely a dual coloured gal. Beige and taupe looks like poop. When you have grey hair, you just fade. It is a thing, isn't it? And it is a thing. And I have noticed this. When I hit 50 and I went through I don't want to look like a frump, but I don't want to look like I'm, you know, old mutton dressed as lamb. It's a really difficult period of time to decide what clothing to wear. But I did discover then that dark colours do drain me out. And that's when I had to change all of my makeup routine as well, because the colour of your skin changes. It goes a bit more translucent, I think. But yes, once you've got grey hair, your hair colour does affect the colour of the tone of your skin as well. So yeah, all sorts of things had to change. Maria, I wear black all the time, and it has to work for you. If that's your colour that makes you feel good, then go for it. Absolutely go for it. Candy, I live in Crocs. My daughter always made fun of me and then found out she had started wearing. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen to me. I love the way Stevie Nicks dress. I think Stevie Nicks' wardrobe is amazing, but those long drapey sleeves all the time drive me nuts. Do you remember green and blue mascara in the 80s? I loved it. I still have blue. You can still buy blue mascara. I have some. I loved the bright blue mascara, pink and blue eyeshadow, bright blue eyeliner, the old amethyst pinky lipstick. I loved it. Loved it. Trudy, St. John's Wort is an abundance purple, is not what I wear often, but love it with fire colours and in the sunset, great when I'm producing my art. It has to work for you and it has to speak to you. That colour has to be associated with the intent that you want to achieve. It's no good using a colour that you don't associate with it, because you're going to lose the connection there. Beige. Do you remember the beige phase? I didn't get in. No, I don't like beige. Karen. Ooh. I wear whatever colour I like. Don't care what people say. Growing old disgracefully. Yes. Yay. Yeah, I'm 55. I'm going out today in a pink dress with hearts all over it. Pretty sure my teenager wouldn't want to walk with me dressed like this. We're going to see the University Open Day actually in a couple of weeks. Shall I wear this with him? Sephora, I had Lancome purple mascara. It was called Amethyst. Oh, I've not seen a purple one. It was the bright blue one that I used to wear. Jane, drapey sleeves are a menace at dinner parties. Absolutely. Once you've passed the rolls to someone, you get your sleeve back with a bit of everyone's dinner in it. Yeah, not practical at all. Brilliant for Stevie Nicks on stage. Not so good for everyday wear. Karen, I like black, but I don't wear it as much as I did. I'm loving greens and blues at the minute. I think we do go through stages, don't we? We do go through stages of colours and what they mean to us. What you associate with them. I didn't wear navy blue for a very long time after I left school because my school uniform was navy blue. And I kind of associated with that, and plus it was the mid-80s and, bright greens, bright yellows, bright pinks, everything. Everything was colour. I loved it. Take me back there. This is very true. Drapey sleeves, not good for lighting candles, no. Yeah, Angela, remembers the 80s blue mascara. You can still buy it. I'm just saying. Karen, if I need a certain colour, I clip a crystal of the colour onto my necklace or wear a bracelet of that colour. Jewelry, it does. It works really well, doesn't it, to bring in that extra boost of colour. I've also used bracelets and necklaces to form a circle around my spell or my candle magic or spell pouch to charge it as well. If you put a bracelet or a necklace around, then you're forming a circle. So it brings in that kind of magic as well. But the crystal bracelets are brilliant for that because they bring in the color, they bring in the energy of the crystals, and you can just set it around your candle magic, around your spell, and it forms a circle as well. It's phases, isn't it? Everything was minimalist fashion, cars, house stuff. We go through, grey seems to be the color. If you go into any of the house product shops, the range or whatever it might be, everything is silver, grey and white. It's all that shades of blah. I'm not judging. Honestly, I'm not. Angela, I usually wear all black, but have been adding some green of late. The first colour in my wardrobe for decades. It has to be what works for you. It really does. And it has to make you feel good. You know how you feel if you put on something and it's not quite right. It kind of, there's a hinky kind of feeling. And I think a lot of that is associated with the colour of it, because the colour gives that vibration. It brings out energy. And if it's not quite the right colour for us or for the day or for whatever you're doing, it can feel a bit hinky. Karen, blues the seas, green the trees. Yep, I would agree with that. Google, my work clothes were black, white, grey. So after retiring, it was a blessing to have colour in my wardrobe. I think I was the same. I do still work, but I work from home now, so I don't have to go into the office in my smart suits. So yeah, maybe it's a bit of a freedom from black and grey. So let's get some colour in there. Tony, I'm mid-50s and wear bright colours and hair in plaits. Hippie yoga purple pants today. That's like a tongue twister. Hippie yoga purple pants today. Love colour. Qualified as an Aurosoma colour care consultant. I would love to have my colours done. I think that's fascinating. I don't know, Tony, did you find that there is a point where you think, what am I supposed to be wearing? I did struggle with that in my, as soon as I hit 50, really, I thought, what am I supposed to be wearing? At one stage, I had lots of different wardrobes. I had my work wardrobe that was all my grey, dark suits and sensible shirts. And I had my Stevie Nicks stuff to wear for Witchcraft. Then I had my husband's in a rock band, so I had my jeans, biker jacket, band t-shirts to wear when I went out with my husband. And then I had just everyday stuff to add in there as well. And it was, which wardrobe am I going to pick out of today? I didn't physically have lots of wardrobes, but which set of clothes am I going to choose to wear today, depending on where I'm going and who I'm going with? I got tired of that eventually and just decided to be me. But again, that was probably once I left the office, so I didn't have to wear suits. Love the yoga pants. I have a couple of pairs of harem pants, or can't touch this pants, as Pete calls them. Anyone from the 80s will get the reference. Karen, my clothes tend to be whatever my menopause belly decides to fit into today. Oh, yes, I hear you loud and clear. Or long, stretchy skirts, which luckily come in a variety of colours. Probably be purple or green this weekend at Pagan Tribal. Oh, come up and say hello. Do come up and say hello, because I'm rubbish at recognising people. Yeah, I packed. Lots of bright colour t-shirts. Tony, I do think about whether I should wear colour, but then said to myself, only life once, wear what you like. Absolutely. I remember going to the first Harley Davidson bike rally gig that we went to. My husband's band was gigging. We'd never been before. I had on jeans, a white t-shirt, and a stripy rainbow jumper. It was like it was like the easiest to wear's Wally ever. Everyone was in black from head to foot, every single person, and there were hundreds of people. I was like a beacon shining. Yeah, it's just me. Jane, lucky to belong to 2 circles that meet every other Thursday. So that means circle every Thursday. As most of what we do is spirit, it's definitely a purple night of the week. There you go. Ties in nicely. Angela, same here. Muggle black clothes for office, goth metal black for out of work. Sephora, seeing eyeglasses must be colour magic. I've gone for blues and black skin, black for protection, and so I can do my stern librarian look when grumpy at falls. I have 2 pairs at the moment. I have the pink pair, which I probably wear most of the time, actually. And then I have my special fancy pair, which are Vivienne Westwood ones, because I loved her. She was amazing. But they are black. Yeah, stern. Yes, I think you could. It's like wearing a mask, isn't it? Or goggles or something. So you could charge your glasses with protection. That would work. Emma, this is inspiring me to bring more colour into my life. I have a pride top, but it's primarily black. I want to get out black, but I don't think any colour suits me. Mum says otherwise. Listen to your mother. Your mother's always right. It is the colour thing, isn't it? If you hold up a colour to your under your chin, you'll see it will change. And if you put a black up and then you put a red up and then a yellow, and you'll see the tone of your skin changing. It's quite an interesting experiment to do, is to bring those different colours in and see how it changes your skin tone, but also how you feel. All of the bright colours, I think, are uplifting, even if the blues and greens, which are, generally healing and prosperity, the bright colours are all uplifting. But it has to work for you. It absolutely has to work for you. Now, bring it in the candles. Auto cloths are good if you like charity shop, thrift shopping. Have a look for headscarves and shawls, because they're brilliant for auto cloths, and you can bring in the colour of the season. You can bring in the colour to work your magic. If you've got space, you can have a little dinner mats work really well. If you want a space to work your spells on and you want to bring in colour, dinner mats work really well because they are sturdy. They come in all different colours and patterns, and they're just about right for setting some candle magic on. Trays work really well as well. All of these you can find in charity and thrift shops. You can bring in the colour with that as well. It's making it work for you, but it is bringing that colour in to add layers to your magic. Yes, that's a good idea, Sephora. Start small with scarves and shawls, and then as the confidence grows, you'll be rocking the rainbow. Yep, absolutely. I have bright yellow boots. Boots. I love them. They are shiny yellow ankle boots. They're fab. They make me happy every time I wear them. Not today because it's far too hot. Jalal, I wore black all the time as a teenager, and then I went to a colour makeup evening thingy and discovered that autumn colours suit me best, and I have worn autumn colours ever since. I think that doing your colours is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Angela, we've decorated our dining room green, which is making me feel like it's brought some nature in. Very nice. Our living room is green. It's a dark green, and it's got a dark orange fireplace because We wanted it to look like Sherlock Holmes's study. We wanted that feel to it, and it does give that feel. But our kitchen is light blue, pale blue, and it's bright and it's light, and the sun comes in, and it is so uplifting walking into it that it makes you want to cook. It makes you want to be in there. Think about the rooms in your house that you don't like going into or that you don't spend much time in. Maybe it's the color of the room that's sort of subconsciously stopping you from going into it. How do you feel in each of the rooms of your house? The color will affect it quite a lot. Like sitting in this room that needs decorating. Jane, turquoise comes across as a spiritual color too, but more otherworldly than purple. I associate it with higher beings. Interesting. The kitchen witch colors are turquoise. Why did I pick it? Because it was the color of the dining room wall at the time when I took the picture of my altar, which was on the mantelpiece, and the wall was turquoise because I love it's turquoisey teal. I love that color, but that works. We're witches, kitchen witches, spiritual, so that actually ties in really nice. It was obviously accidentally meant to be. I think it is different people. If you feel more confident in black, then absolutely go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't wear that at all. It doesn't matter what I say anyway. You don't have to listen to me. But I think it has to, whatever you're wearing, whatever color you're wearing, has to make you feel good. And it will be different for every person because we are all different individual beings. But when you bring color into your magical working, then you've got a whole rainbow of colors and more to work with. And it is about associating that color. Why do I use green for prosperity? It's the traditional kind of magical color for prosperity. I think possibly for several reasons, because green would have been the color of money. I'm thinking more dollars now because they're green, aren't they? I think air pound notes are green, aren't they? But we don't have pound notes anymore. But I also think growth and money kind of comes into that category, doesn't it? So that's why I associate green with prosperity. Yellow's perhaps an obvious one. Yellow is a sunshiny, happy color, so I use it for happiness spells and confidence and courage. Anything to do with emotions, I would go for blue because of the water connection. Purple, spirituality, obviously. It's about what you associate, but it's interesting to think about why you associate that color with that particular intent. It's always interesting to think a bit further into it and understand why you associate that color with it. Green is the color of growth. It is, and I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well with prosperity. Emma, during a manic moment, I painted the separate toilet room light green and then the bathroom light purple, all in 2 days. Then the bathroom became one and the color was changed to magenta. Boo. Oh, hey, we all make decorating mistakes. It happens. It does happen. Angela, I drew up a mind map task list the other day and highlighted each task with the color I associated with it. Like it. I love working with mind maps. I think mind maps are fascinating. I think they're particularly good to work within magic, but they're also really good for helping sort out self-care, problems, issues, bit of shadow work. You basically write whatever it is in the middle and then write random words around the edge, whatever you think, whatever comes into your mind, and then you connect them. And it's a really good way of emptying your head, but then seeing what connections you've made without thinking about it. And quite often you can get a really good plan from it, or you can get really good ideas from it, or clarity. So mind maps are brilliant. What other colors have we? Oh, silver and gold. Anyone work with silver and gold? It's very difficult getting candles. I think we mentioned it last time, that are solid silver and gold. But I think to me they are the god and the goddess. They are the sun and the moon. I think both silver and gold are abundance, because silver and gold are worth money. So that brings it into it too. What else? What other colours haven't we? Navy blue, the darker colours, dark green, dark blue, I think for me more represent the darker half of the year. Tend to work with lighter colours during the lightest time of the year, half of the year. Seasonal, because that's the seasonality, I think, coming into it. What other colours we've got? What haven't we done? Red. Red I work with sometimes for courage, because red is a really loud, bright, shouty, in-your-face colour. Passion and creativity, I would work with red for, to bring inspiration, to get the creativity working. Because it's bright, because it's loud and shouty. And then there's lots of different shades as well, isn't there? So if I'm working a prosperity spell, I go for a dark green normally. Light green to me is gentler. It's not so much, right, I need money, like the dark green is. The dark green's got a bit of oomph behind it. The pale pastel greens, they speak more of new beginnings, perhaps, to me, rather than the dark green, which is all about the money for me. Emma, fortunately, it has changed to beige, which is better and goes with the floor. It's all good. Jane, dark colours at night, light colours during the day. Green and brown for being invisible in the woods, like it. Now, I do work a lot with moon magic and sun magic, and each different moon phase has different colours that are associated with it. Each sun phase has different colours associated with it. So if you are working with the moon phases, then you can bring in that colour associated with the phase, whether it's the full or the waning or the new moon or whatever, dark moon, whatever. What colours do you associate with that moon phase? And then you can bring them in as well. Emma, I used to use gold and silver candles, then they disappeared off online shops, which I'm grateful for because it made me think outside the box. Things happened to push us. Karen, I wear a lot of reds and oranges in the autumn. Yeah, I think if we are connected, like we are, you do feel the energy of the seasons, which probably translates itself into the clothes as well. Jane, offices used to be painted light green at the top and darker at the bottom, with the divide quite high up the wall. The idea was to make people feel like they were drowning and had to work hard to keep their heads above water. That's a horrible thought. Sephora, what are fae colours? I don't work the fae personally, but I would go with the colours of nature. I would go with greens and browns. Anything from nature, really. But green and brown would spring to mind first. But again, the fairy world is enormous. But it has to make a connection to you. It has to be relevant to you. But it's at nature. Would be my connection there. So fascinating talk as always. Thank you so much. Hopefully you will go and think about colour today. What you're wearing, what you're doing, what all your rooms are like. I apologize if I've caused any of you to have to completely redecorate your home. But colour magic is very powerful and it has the ability to uplift. So for the worst colours in the world, hospital green. Yeah, there are certain shades of colours that you associate with institutional places, don't you? Yeah, I think it's just another way of adding energy to your magic and to your life, really. So thank you all for joining me this week. I am now going to try and get everything in the car, which is going to be like a massive game of Jenga or Tetris or whatever game where lots of stuff has to fit in, and then hit the road. So no, I've got my bottle of water with me. So for all, thank you. Danke, Google, danke. Not here next Wednesday, obviously. Find me on Friday. next week. So Fridays from now on going forwards. And obviously the replays will all be up in the usual place. So if you are coming to Pagan Tribal, do come up to our Kitchen Witch tent and say hello to everybody. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of the week and weekend, everyone. Do enjoy the sunshine. So take care, everyone. Thank you for joining me.